Pozdrav svima, evo nas nazad, ovo je Heat Radio, ja sam vaš host MC Tone Tuoro. Ovo je u miksu bio DJ Sunny, malo vas je zagrijao da vas malo i upozna sa soundom od našeg večerašnjeg gosta Ameriga Gazawaya. On je producent, multi-instrumentalist, DJ, MC i remixer, najpoznatiji po koncept albumima Bizarre Tribe, A Quest to the Far Side, Yacing Gay i Fela Soul, koji broje milijunske preglede i slušanja na YouTube-u i streaming servisima. Trenutno se nalazi u Zagrebu, te je ovo bila izvrsna prilika da popričamo s jednim istinskim majstrom hip-hop žanra. Amerigo, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here in Zagreb. We have found a true candidate to talk hip-hop with today. I'm glad Fat Philly told me you were here and we're able to do this. Welcome to the show.
Puno hvala, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I see your Croatian is not too bad either.
It's getting there.
Better than mine, man. It's better than mine.
I know the basics. I know how to, tell my dog to do commands in Croatian.
So. Oh yeah, same. But definitely, man, we welcome to the show, and we're really glad to have you. And as a fellow American, welcome. And
likewise.
Yeah, bro, and it's good to see you and meet you as well. And also, I just want to let's cut to the chase and just straight up, but like, what brings you here, bro? What brings you to Croatia? Everybody asks me, but now it's funny. Now I can ask you.
yeah, for sure. No, it's funny. Yeah, meeting another American, but yeah, obviously, like, I've been here a couple of years. My wife is Croatian. I met her in the States, and we were living in Cali for a little while. And during the pandemic, she got a job out here and wanted to be closer to her family. So,
yeah, I get it.
And yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here.
Yeah. You know about?
We moved during a weird time. Like I said, it was during the pandemic. That first year was just it was just like a lot, and like if things were closed, I didn't really feel like I lived here. I was like we were just boxed in.
No, I get it.
And now I'm actually like, now that I've been here a couple of years and pandemic's kind of died down, I'm actually starting to connect with other DJs here and meet people and go to record shops, and I actually feel like I live here, and I'm not like, just like.
You made a home
out tourist. Yeah.
That's exactly. Great. That's great, man. And then you get to enjoy the coast and everything, right?
Yeah, every summer, man. It's like, now we're like getting the itch.
Yeah.
Every summer when the weather starts getting warm, we gotta get over.
You're becoming a real Croatian.
Yeah. The fiaca.
Did you know about Croatia before you met your girl?
Admittedly, not. No, not really.
Me too, man. Same.
I had to read books and learn about the history.
Shame.
Yes, but I learned quick. My girl made sure.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling your strings, man.
No.
That's it. Yeah, same here. It's been great to, like dig into the culture here and the food and the music, especially. I've been digging for records. I started to amass like a nice little collection of like Yugoslav funk and jazz and stuff to start sampling and pulling from, and then like reading the liner notes and the songs is really helping me with my Croatian and pronunciation and vocabulary and stuff like that. So yeah, it all ties together, and it's good to just like be here and absorb the culture.
Definitely, I'm happy to hear that from you. Yeah, I suppose you've been musically active for a very long time now, and I bet you have a lot of projects still overseas. I bet you work a lot remotely as well. Is that an obstacle for you now, or is that not a problem anymore thanks to the internet?
Yeah, I mean it was always kind of like that. I've always kind of been, I was living in Nashville, and Nashville's huge for like country music and songwriting, but for hip hop and stuff like that, it's not as much of a go-to spot. So, I was doing a lot of my connecting there online anyway, and I've been building up my online presence for years. So when the pandemic hit, it didn't really affect me necessarily as much as some of my other DJ friends who were like really tied to the city they're in, the DJs there, and the scene, residencies and stuff. Whereas like, me and my stuff was kind of more online, but the time zone difference can be a hindrance sometimes, and just connecting with some of my clients and friends from overseas that we used to be kind of synced up more, and now it's a little bit harder. We'll be playing phone tag more and stuff like that. So that can pose a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but other than that, it's all good. I'm still collaborating with artists like Napoleon, who's in Berlin. He's in Berlin now, so actually we're more synced up than we were when he was in the States. But
that's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited to, and it's fun to start like collaborating with people more. I think it brings out different sides of your personality too when you make music and you collaborate with people.
But like you said, where you're from, what inspired you to hip hop though? Like what was that? Do you remember like that one track or that artist that like hit you where you were like, oh, I need more of this?
I mean, yeah, I always tell this story. It's the same story I tell in all my interviews, but it's true. So it's like when my brother went to college, I have an older brother and sister. They're like, 8, 9 years older than me. So when they went to college and at UT in Tennessee, my brother left behind like a shoebox of cassette tapes. Except none of the cassette tapes were in them. All the cassette tapes were in his car, but the cases, it was all the cases of all the cassette tapes he had bought. And it was like Souls of Mischief and Tribe and Gangstar, Moment of Truth and De La
He put you
Soul.
onto the right stuff.
Yeah, but none of the tapes were in there. And this was before the internet.
He was teasing you, man.
Yeah, it was just a tease. I could look at all the liner notes and everything, but I couldn't listen to it. So then I went one by one, started going out to like Circuit City and Target and like Sam Goody and all the music shops and buying those tapes one by one so I could listen to them. And that's what set me on my journey for hip hop. And I mean, all those tapes were fire, but out of all those tapes, the one tape that stood out to me was Gangstar's Moment of Truth.
That's a beautiful record.
And yeah, just the way, really, I think it's just the production. I mean, I love Guru's lyrics, but like the way DJ Premier, found his sound on that record, just the cohesiveness of it and everything, it just like really made an impact on me. It was like, this is something I want to do, and I really want to make beats and produce hip hop, and that was kind of the light bulb moment.
That's a very good album to fall in love with hip hop. Just so many beautiful, even melodies and chords and ideas on that album. And the drums, everything is
Sample
produced
selection.
just perfectly.
I know, the cuts, everything. It's like it's like a cohesive. It really is like a symphony or something, like in terms of cohesiveness.
And you mentioned Napoleon the Legend just earlier. The collab came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Was that your last collab album? And are you looking into doing more of those now you're in Europe?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think other than the Stranger Things mixtape that I did with Mega Ran last summer, that was like the last official like collab that I did that was like officially out on streaming and vinyl and all that. But yeah, we got some new projects in the works. I'm working on some more stuff with Napoleon and A1 and Phonics, and I've got a couple other projects with various producers. I've been working on some of my MC stuff, trying to get in that bag a little bit more lately, and so that's been kind of fun too, to actually have other producers produce for me. So I can focus more on writing. So I got a couple EPs like that coming out, and but yeah, I do go back and forth. Like sometimes I like to be in producer mode, sometimes I like to be in like MC mode. So
definitely, I think a lot of producers like to get out the box and be an MC for a little while. Just a week or two ago, Hit Boy and Alchemist linked up on a song where they made a beat for each other and they rapped over each other's beats.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen
that.
Oh, nice, like a J-Lib type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen
exactly.
that.
Like it's and they the video is like them two. I think one of them is on a MPC Renaissance, and the other one is on I can't remember what equipment they were using exactly, but they were just making the beat right there. Hit Boy makes one beat, Alchemist throws a verse, and then Alchemist makes the beat, and this guy throws a verse, and it's just like they both fetch kills.
There's something, for me, like especially as a producer, like I'll spend a few hours making a beat, and then I'll just be like, this is whack, like it's just like I don't want to write to this, and then somebody else will play me some fresh beat that they just made. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I'll just start writing. Like it's something about it. When you made it, you just don't realize the value in it as much. And when somebody else makes it, you hear it, you're like, oh wow, like you hear it with fresh ears.
Or if I can chip in, sometimes maybe the approach when you listen to your own beat is too analytical. You start hearing every sound too clear because you've been through the whole process of every little hi-hat, every little kick, snare.
You were there for all of it.
For the bass, and then you're just like, you're annoyed by something that you were hearing in the process and you just can't let go, maybe even as an artist, as a rapper.
Question for both of y'all as producers. Like when you make beats, sometimes you get tired of like working on a beat and then you need to take like a break just so you have like a fresh ear.
Sometimes I come back to a beat that's like 3 years old and be like, that was not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. What was I thinking? Why didn't I put that out? It's crazy.
And then vice versa as well,
the complete opposite. But no, it's taking time to step away from it definitely helps, and you do get ear fatigue for sure.
Fatigue is the right word.
Yeah.
Hey, let's listen to your Napoleon the Legend collaboration as well. I got some here. Come Too Far off of your guys' album. Let's play that for a second. We will be back in a few minutes. Evo, slušamo se za koju minutu. Slušat ćemo sad sa projekta Napoleon the Legenda i Amerigo Gazaway pjesmu Come Too Far. Vraćamo se za koju minutu. Hvala vam što ste u 102.5 FM. Ovo je Heat Radio. Let's go.
Cool on Heat. R&B i Neo Soul on Heat. Samo na Jametu.
What's going on, man? So, question, bro. So I still see you active, and like I said, I've heard your edits, and it's amazing. And I play when I'm working in the background and all this stuff, and just listen to how you merge different types of songs together and make it anew, and that's really unique for me. But I even use some on my sets when I'm DJing as well, nice. which helps me, it gives me more ammo while I'm DJing for gigs and things like that. But the first time I heard your project was almost 10 years ago with Fela Soul and Yansin Gay and Tribe Farside concept album. Very few people were doing that back then. How did that whole idea come about?
I mean, just any particular project, or just the idea of doing these collaborations?
These merges.
Yeah.
I mean, it really came about through just me being a producer and wanting to hear like what my beats sounded like with all my favorite MCs on it. You know what I mean? So I would just go grab the acapellas and start making remixes. Just like, would this beat sound good with Jay-Z on it? Let's find out. Like, let's go get a Jay-Z verse and see. Like, if it does sound good, maybe. And that was kind of the idea. It was more about like me trying to just become better as a producer, and also having the acapella in there in the session also kind of helps me structure the beat out to like, okay, here's 16 bars, here's a hook, here's and then I'll kind of build the beat around the acapella, and then I'd take the acapella away and I have like a finished beat. And so it started out like that, but then I started to notice magical things would happen too, and then things like Fela Soul or Bizarre Tribe would be born into existence, where I'd play a certain beat, or get an idea, and go from there. And so, I mean, that's kind of the reason I started writing lyrics too, just because I wanted to hear MCs rapping on my beats. But yeah, with the Fela Soul project, that was just it was kind of a fluke. It was just like a fun idea that I had. Obviously the name Fela Soul is cute and funny, but also like the concept actually was legit, and I knew that those artists' music would merge well together, and it would complement each other. And so, I just made that first track. I think Break of Dawn was the first track that I did, and it usually always starts with that. Like I'll start with one track, and then if that goes well, then I'll keep going. With Bizarre Tribe, it was the Runnin' flip, and with Yazin Gay, it was the Inner City Traveling Man. It's like that one track. It's like when I do it, and I know like, okay, this is going somewhere. Like this has the potential to be something huge.
Yeah.
But not every project is like that. There have been some projects that are kind of like in the stash, but they're just not big enough. There's not enough meat on the bone to really like do a full length project.
Cool.
But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then when Fela Soul blew up, and Questlove tweeted about it, and my whole life kind of changed. And
that's what I was gonna say. How did you feel when like the people that you look up to or inspire to, and then they recognize your work? How's that feel?
No, it's been amazing, and to have gotten to tour the world off of it and meet some of my idols and collaborate with some of them has just been a huge blessing, and I can't thank everybody enough. Just hip hop in general, because like
hip hop embraced you.
Yeah, totally. Shout out to the Farside, shout out to De La Soul, Bun B, Yazin Bey, everybody. Like a lot of them embraced it. I have gotten a lot of backlash from the labels and copyright stuff, which I'm sure we can get into. But on the flip side of that, it's led to some really great opportunities. And, I got to, one of the tracks from Yazin Gay ended up like in an Apple commercial. And,
wow.
And we were able to actually clear it, which I think was one of the first times retroactively that like a mashup has been cleared. Yeah, officially.
For commercial use.
Yeah, which I think is big for the industry and the culture in general, to just show like, look, these mashups aren't a threat, like this is actually like helping this content, reach millions of people, because it's using this unique mashup in a cool way, and like, just trying to change the narrative. I mean, that's really kind of been my goal and my thesis with these projects, is just trying to like show people like the possibilities of mashup or remix sampling, really. Everybody calls me a mashup artist. I'm a hip hop artist. I grew up listening to hip hop. I'm a hip hop dude. Like, I'm not like girl talk or something, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know people like to put me in that category, and no disrespect to girl talk.
I think
he
people
kills
just need to,
but they
find
need
the
to
box.
call it something. Yeah, they need to call me something. I get it, but like really, I'm just a hip hop producer, and I love sampling, and hip hop is built on sampling. So my whole career has been like just kind of the thesis of like trying to show people the possibilities of sampling, whether it's as an educational tool or whether it's through, you know, just keeping these artists' legacies alive, you know, for future generations, and preservation and music, you know, conservation. And so, yeah, it's just, that's.
I feel like you just took the initiative. Like, you know, when people are saying, what if this one was with that one? What if they made it, a song together? You just like say, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it sound dope.
Yeah, no, there's something fun about that. It's definitely, you know, it's a tricky task, and I don't take it lightly when I'm messing with like these legendary artists' catalog.
You do it for the sake of music because you love the music.
Yeah, and I do it, you know, really as a selfish kind of like homework assignment for myself. Like I love giving myself a challenge and to level up my production game. So really to like open up the hood on some of these songs and like look at the stems and figure out like what Marvin Gaye or Stevie Wonder is doing behind the boards is really like eye-opening. And I always walk away from these projects with like a huge, greater understanding of the artists, the music in general.
That's amazing.
The context.
But they complement, when you do it, they complement each other.
Yeah,
they do
I
complement
appreciate it.
No, for real, they complement each other. It doesn't feel like a gimmick.
Yeah,
where it's like, oh, what would this be fun if they sound together? It's like these people blend well together and they make a new sound.
Yeah, no, I always try to make it seem like that and make it feel like they're in the studio together and they're really like, having a conversation. I guess that's the goal, and I don't want it to feel forced. And if it does feel forced, then again, it's probably like sitting in the trash folder on my hard drive and you never heard it. You know what I mean? Like there have been times where I like try shit and it doesn't really work, and I'll only really like put my foot in the projects that I see the vision for. I'll see the vision for. I'm like, okay, this is Miseducation of Lauren or Eunice Wayman or something like that. But yeah.
I like how Nina Simone and Lauryn Hill complement each other. They have a very similar energy as well, even as artists.
Yeah, definitely.
Bro, it was done so well. I thought they were in the studio together.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like I thought they were in the studio together, like making this. Yeah. Like it was so good together. I know like it didn't happen, but it was like, why didn't this happen? Type of, you know?
Yeah, no, I didn't have multi-tracks. I wasn't able to get my hands on any stems for that one, so it was a little bit trickier to make it sound like they were in the studio. Whereas with some of the other projects, like the Yazin Bey or the Stevie Wonder Common Joint, I was actually able to get my hands on like a handful of multi-tracks and stuff.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
That really changes the game. And I know now with like all this AI stuff, there's like, crazy stem remixing stuff out there now that I haven't even like scratched the surface. I haven't even, I've kind of been taking a break from the mashup stuff just to get settled into Croatia and also like, pursue other things in music, like emceeing, game, soundtracks and film and music licensing, things like that. But there's like the technology. While I took a break from mashups and remixing this stuff, the technology like went crazy, and now like there's all these tools available, and everybody's like, "Amerigo, have you tried out these tools?" I'm like, "Actually, I haven't." Like
that's really what I wanted to ask you. Yes. That's you're reading my mind because I think when you did it, so in like 2013, 14, 15, that was really profound. Like, how did you get your hands on all these acapellas, all these stems? Did you really went to find every sample? You made every drum the way they did it? Like, it feels like you you did your homework very deeply. Like, you went really deep into it.
I did, yeah. No, I mean, especially to get some of those acapellas, like we had to create DIY style. Me and my homie Goodwill Projects, like I'd order like a Lauryn Hill like CD single from Japan, like bootleg that has the instrumental on it, and then my homie would like phase invert it to get the acapella for Zion or something like
crazy.
That. Nice. And I remember we did a bunch of stuff like that because I'd have these ideas like, I really wish I had the acapella for Zion, but it doesn't exist. And like, all right, let's try to phase it or whatever. And that I feel like that we were kind of doing that before it became like really popular, before people really started doing it and also got their hands on all these like new tools and stuff. So yeah, it was more of a challenge, kind of like everybody talks about, it's like, oh, well, we did pause tapes back in the day and like everything was harder back in the day. And that's why you appreciate it more, but you do a little bit. And I feel like there is a magic to those projects that, because of the challenges and the research that I had to do,
Exactly.
And again, I do these things, I think, because of the process. For me, like the process is what I enjoy the most out of it, more so than the end product. So, you know, I enjoy that part. I enjoy the research. I enjoy the learning, just making acapellas and stuff like that.
But it shows how much effort you put towards it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope it comes through in the music for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
To piggyback what you just said earlier, yeah, it was harder back in the day and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, just to give props to those who came before us, they also opened the door with their ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody was doing it, so you know.
And now we have all this AI stuff. I know there's this lay.ai, even a website. Just it gets whatever you want from the song, bro. Whatever stem, whatever the vocals, that what you can just pick an instrument out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, my only fear with that stuff is the artifacts, because, you know, when I do the Phazon version, there's always artifacts, and it always sounds kind of messed up and kind of like digital and cold and grainy and like an old MP3 that's missing some data bits or something. I don't know. It's just, and I think you're gonna see a lot of that. I don't know. I haven't really tried any of this new technology that's out, so I can't really knock it. But I think I always like go for like, you know, a studio acapella more than any, or like if I can actually get my hands on the stems.
That's the best. That's just clean.
It's just like it's hard to work with those ones that have artifacts in them, and you really have to like almost mask it with the production. Sometimes I would do that with the DIY acapellas on some of those projects. Like, like some of those, if you listen to like some of the DIYs for like Fe La Soul or Common Wonder, you'd be like, oh my God, like you can't use this. But like I did, and I just masked it with the production. Like, you know, maybe there's some strings that kind of cover up the weird frequencies. And,
oh, wow.
You know, you have to be like tricky, you know, with the acapellas. And, you know, it's fun, but at the same time, it's like when I run into problems like that, it's just like it taps into the side of me that just wants, man, I just want to call Common up. You know, like, can I just work with Common? Like, instead of using this crappy DIY. And that's really also been the ultimate goal of, you know, besides like changing the narrative of sampling and remixing, you know, I want to work with these artists officially and not like illegally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like actually work with the estates and let's do something for real, you know? And I know a lot of estates have approached me over the years, but then like the other estate isn't on board or something. It's like Fela Kuti's estate was on board.
Yeah.
But then like De La Soul was all caught up with Tommy Boy. And now it's flipped. De La Soul's on board, but Fela Kuti's estate is like, nah, shut that shit down. You know, and so somebody else is working at Fela Kuti estate now, and they are down with sampling. Changing. And so, you know, it's hard to get everybody on the same page. But, you know, like I said, with the Apple commercial and things like that, I just want to show people like, look, we can all eat, we can all break bread. This music can live, everybody can listen to it, we can all get paid, all the original artists and families and estates and everybody, like,
definitely.
You know, we have the technology. So yeah, it's just, you know, I hope it's only a matter of time, you know, and I think, you know, with the culture and everything that's happening now with, just remixing and reels and AI, it's just only a matter of time before, like, we have to start accepting this art form as, like, the future, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree.
Remixing.
You just got to keep pushing. Yeah. And maybe the spotlight comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I was going to say also regarding the technology, I mean, and the you mentioned copyright, so there's issues with that definitely in the beginning. There must have been, especially in the early days of the internet, everything was still kind of open. You could still upload all kinds of stuff. Full albums were online. You could just enjoy whatever, whenever. It was all kind of very gray area when it comes to copyright and intellectual property and stuff like that. And it was only a matter of time, of course, before the I would say industry or the copyright holders would crack down on the so-called illegal or free use of music and samples and stuff like that. So how difficult was it for you as a hip-hop artist, and hip-hop being an art form that is very much based on sampling and remixing and recreating, rebuilding? So you must have had some difficult, you know, situations, because I see a lot of your music is released as well, so you must have found some solutions as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the mashup projects, you know, I just put those out, you know, and I take the risk. And usually I do reach out to the estates like beforehand, and or the artists, you know, camps, and if I don't hear back, I'll still just put it out and then deal with the consequences. Sometimes that leads to like me touring with the artists and collaborating with them. Sometimes it leads to like a cease and desist letter in my inbox and a takedown notice from a bunch of lawyers, and that's That's definitely happened a bunch. You know, I got a cease and desist takedown for Bizarre Tribe when it came out, and you know, we broke. My brother wrote like a big open letter to Sony about it. It was the whole thing. You know, Fela La Soul recently got shut down. Like I think last year after 10 years. I think I celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Fela La Soul, and I shouldn't have done that. I like got online. I was like, happy 10-year anniversary Fela La Soul, and like you know, made a big noise about it. Like a day later, I got like a takedown notice from the estate. So, you know, that's the thing. That's the problem with these projects. Like, I want to promote them, I want to spread the word, but if I make too much noise about it, it's gonna get shut down. And so it's kind of this weird position it's put me in, and you know, it has caused a lot of issues for me. You know, luckily, you know, I'm starting to move away from, you know, not just doing mashups in general or remixes, because it's something I'll always do if I'm inspired and I have a good idea, I'm going to do it, you know, regardless of money, regardless of whatever any label or copyright person tells me, I'm going to do it, you know, but I have been trying to like transition, you know, into doing other things in my career, like producing for other artists and doing music for licensing in films and commercials and games and things like that.
That's great.
And put your talent somewhere as well.
Yeah, and then I can do these mashups for fun and not worry about, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm getting my bread somewhere, you know, in the music, and you know, I'm still, you know, getting paid, then I don't have to worry about like the mashups getting, and if it gets shut down, whatever, I'll take it down. I don't know, make another one. Like with Yaz and Gay, they shut down part 1, I put out part 2. And then, you know, Apple commercial. So it just like, you never know what's gonna happen, and you know,
the music needs to live on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the same time, it also has pushed me to start playing more instruments and like actually learning my music theory and playing my guitar more and bass and stuff like that. So, and that's something when it comes to like the games and the film and TV stuff, like no sample, like you cannot use the sample.
Nothing.
Like you will get popped, and like you will get blacklisted from ever getting work again. So, and
that's not even like sampled loops and stuff like that. Like everyone's using nowadays.
No, they don't want you even using. They don't even want you using sample packs or anything like that. So that has also, you know, not necessarily the copyright stuff, but that you know, that has motivated me to like actually step up my musical game and chops.
Definitely, I was very impressed with the cover you did of De La Soul's. You did a De La Soul tribute because True Good. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
And I was just impressed. Like, wow, you just straight up played the guitar, the bass, you hit the drum machine, and then you were on the trumpet.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
No, yeah, those are really fun too.
So which instruments do you play?
I mean, I play, like I'm not really good at any instrument particularly. I'm like decent at piano, guitar, bass, you know, in terms of like a producer, like I can get it down, I can get the idea down that I want. I wouldn't say I'm like super proficient in any particular instrument. If I would, I would say piano. Like I grew up playing keyboards and piano and synthesizers. My dad had keyboards laying around everywhere. So, you know, he set me in front of piano, I'm good. But my dad's a trumpet player, so I did play trumpet in band growing up a little bit. And so that's where I get that. And then my mom is Brazilian. She plays like Brazilian bossa nova acoustic guitar. So she taught me some licks like that. And so yeah, I mean, I you know, I just play it all by ear. You know, I have taken like various lessons throughout the years, but never really stuck through with anything. I think if there's something that I want to really get good at is bass, because it's just like such
it's a magical
integral part of every song. You know, not every song needs a trumpet. You know, as much as I love a trumpet, not every song needs a trumpet. Not every song needs a piano. Not every song needs a guitar. Every song needs bass. Like every song needs a dope bass line. That's just like, you know, you can't escape it. And so I think that's the one thing I want to get good at, so that, you know, at least the foundation is laid for every one of my tracks.
That really stuck with me, what you just said, definitely. And the bass is something that can give a song a body, but it can also just have a melody on its own as well.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting, man. Let's listen to some of your music, some of your mashup music, as they call it. I would prefer to call it just remix kind of music. I don't know.
Conceptual collaboration. I think that's the term we came up with as the Soulmates collective.
That is what I'm going to use from now on.
For sure.
Because that is indeed what it is. So this is from Fela La Soul. Basically, you merge De La Soul and Fela Kuti. Boy, that is such a good combination. Not only because they're both amazing artists and they have an amazing sound, but they just work together so well. So we're going to listen to Stakes is High. Amerigo Gazaway, Fela La Soul. Let's go.
Intenzivna vrućina.
Evo nas nazad, dragi slušatelji.
Back.
Heat Radio, Amerigo Gazaway,
Amerigo.
Yo.
back on the air.
Yes, bro.
Yo, I was gonna ask you, what do you listen to nowadays? What's inspiring you? What's in your headphones?
Oh man, I mean, like I was telling you earlier, I've been just trying to dig into like a lot of this Yugoslav, like ex-Yugoslav jazz, funk, and soul and stuff like that. Like just because I'm here, and I feel like it's a good opportunity for me while I'm here to dig into that music and maybe start sampling some of it, or just appreciate it more. So yeah, stuff like that. Like I'm blanking out now.
No worries.
It's okay.
But I was gonna ask you too, like what
like in terms of new stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I listen to a lot of my friends, and like Mega Ran, Napoleon, and like people like that, J Live, and like
Shout out J Live. He was here in Croatia as well for this Next Level project. It was just before COVID, and basically I think it was organized by the U.S. Embassy or like a collaboration with them and J Live and Baba Israel. And some more people from the States came over, and they had like hip hop workshops here.
Nice. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. I'm sad I got to miss it, but yeah, I've seen him a couple times, and he definitely kills it. And yeah, I'm just inspired by like, I think now, especially that I'm getting back into my MC stuff, it's like inspiring to just be collaborating with others and be inspired by their music and kind of trying to one up each other. I feel like I kind of miss that. I kind of miss being part of like a hip hop community or circle of like friends and artists and peers trying to kind of one up each other, like a healthy competition.
Yeah, I get it.
And you said before this you lived in LA, right?
Berkeley, actually.
Berkeley.
Bay Area. Yeah.
Nice.
So there must have been a lot of artists there you would have competed with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no, I was all love. The Bay it is saturated in terms of music, but I got to collaborate with some dope artists out there like Ziamara, and we made the 1990 album, which is like a tribute to 1990s R&B. And I got to meet a bunch of people. I got to meet like Egyptian Lover, like walking down the street.
Wow.
Smoked a joint with Egyptian Lover, walking down the street on Haight Street one day. It's just like that's what I do miss about being in the Bay or being in the States, is stuff like that happens.
The scene,
time. Yeah, the scene, and just I mean, different things like that. Artists coming through, but I know there's also like dope events happening here. Philly's always bringing people through, so it's a good
definitely.
Yeah.
Are you inspired by other genre aside of hip hop currently?
I mean, tons. Yeah. I mean, every genre. I mean, and that's what I love about hip hop. Really, is hip hop is this amalgamation of every genre. When you think about it, you listen to a De La Soul record. You're gonna hear everything from Steely Dan to funk to Jimi Hendrix, like
Correct.
It's just, and that's what I love about hip hop. So it sends me down a rabbit hole every time I hear a hip hop song, it sends me down a rabbit hole of some new genre. I mean, lately I've been trying to get into video game soundtracks and producing more stuff for games, and that's actually something it's one of the reasons I started making music aside from hip hop is when I was younger, I was trying to like recreate my favorite game soundtracks.
Nice.
Which one of your favorite game soundtracks? I'm a gamer, bro. So
I mean, Zelda, all the RPG stuff. I did a couple tributes, like rap tributes, like one for Zelda, one for Chrono Trigger, some Final Fantasy stuff.
Final Fantasy, that's my
that's
my shit, bro.
Yasunori Mitsuda, like all that
Final
stuff.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. I did a track with Mega Ran on his Final Fantasy 7 remake album.
Really?
Yeah, where I rapped from the perspective of Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy 7.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is nerd talk right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's nerd talk.
I'm just, you asked about other genres, and I feel like game music doesn't really get considered a genre as much. People just kind of overlook, almost like sampling or hip hop. It doesn't really get considered as an art form, but I think it's one of the most
influential.
greatest subsets of music out there. That you can listen
the whole
to.
experience. If you think about like Halo, the soundtrack for Halo.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, it's timeless. And so, but aside from that, obviously I'm a huge fan of like Brazilian music because my mom's from Brazil, jazz because my dad's a jazz trumpet player. I grew up in Nashville, so I'm a big fan of like soul, Stax Records, Volt, all that just southern like greasy soul music.
Greasy soul music.
Did you get any? How you feel like the sounds in here? Like now you're in Croatia. Did that kind of like make you explore a little bit of like the sound in Europe or in Croatia in the Balkan area? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, like
intrigued by?
No, I'm definitely interested. I actually used what was it? I used some Turkish instrument on the last game soundtrack that I did because I was trying to like incorporate some of that Turkish. It was this Slavic folklore, Slavic fantasy game that I did the soundtrack for. But then, I wanted to incorporate instruments from other regions around here too. And so I started digging into some. Really it's like you could almost become a musicologist when you start doing research like that and trying to incorporate different things. And then, it's just like wherever I am, I'm always influenced and inspired by the music, and I always just want to absorb it. When I was in the Bay, I was making a bunch of West Coast type beats, and I was just kind of like really influenced, like Egyptian Lover, and I was like bumping Too Short and E40 every day. And And now that I'm out here, I'm trying to get get into more of the music out here, and I guess I haven't really dug into as much of the new stuff, but like I said, I've been collecting like Josipa Lisats, and like Tamir, Pop, Asan.
Tihomir Pop Asanovic.
Yeah, Asanovic, and records like that, and trying to flip them and stuff. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's very interesting, especially because you mentioned them. So in their time, they were basically making music that was considered more Westerner music, but they still put their own kind of flip on it. And it's interesting when you listen to music from that time, or even from this time, from any area of the world. It's like they take that, but they put their own culture into it as well, their own context.
Yeah, it's undeniable. And it becomes something else. Like not imbue some of that into what you're creating. You know what I mean? So,
but it's still similar enough for you to understand coming from the States. It feels very familiar, but it still has that twang.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. And, I think they did a great job. I think there's so much dope music here that I still have barely even scratched the surface. But
we'll put you on.
Yeah, no, shout out to the DJ friends. Yeah, hook me up. A lot of my DJ friends have been hooking me up with like books and like different resources to really dive in. So yeah, it's been dope.
I gotta put you on an event. Hold on, I'm gonna just find it real quick.
For sure.
What is it? Let me find it. So on the 6th of May, Petit Coupé. Have you been to Petit Coupé?
I did, yeah. I saw DJ Greg Wilson spin there last year. I think.
They get a lot of really good DJs from all over the world. It's a good go-to spot if you don't know what to do on a Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah. No, it's a dope venue. Yeah.
Shout out to Petit Coupé.
I just saw today there's an event called Yes Ples. Ples means dance in Croatian.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And so it's going to be Mr. Dirty Harry. I don't know if you've been introduced to him or checked out
I've heard music. Of Dirty Harry. I haven't met him yet, but I know he lives here. And he's a fellow expat /
you guys will get along.
Yeah, he's dope.
Perfectly.
Nice. Yeah.
And so we'll put you on to him, and he's a big vinyl digger and
huge
producer
vinyl
and
digger.
everything.
I've heard some of his productions too.
Definitely.
It's really dope stuff.
Shout out to Harry, man.
So shout out to him. He's playing there. Tom Moritsov is playing there, so he's a old school DJ, and he has a radio show actually here on Yama FM as well. He has a show also every Wednesday at 3:00, and he just plays like oldies, soul. He plays 50s, 60s, 70s records and stuff like that.
On Yama here?
Yeah, here on Yama.
Okay.
Every Wednesday at 3:00. Okay. So if you want to get your sample inspiration on, I think he will put you on.
For sure.
And Antonio Zuzza and Florian Keller are playing there as well. So it's going to be a proper party. It's going to be very danceable though. So the 6th of May I think is going to be a good go-to event for you.
Word. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. That you
like
just
I said, now that I'm living at Yarun, I can just hop on that tram. I think it's going to be a lot easier to like come out to the city.
It's just a tram.
I don't have to cross the bridge. I don't have to Uber or any of that. It's just
tram number 5 from Yarun.
Yeah.
And it drops you off. It's right behind Lisinski. I don't know. Have you been to Lisinski yet? It's a concert hall where they have operas and stuff like that.
I haven't seen it. No.
We're gonna put you on to a lot of stuff.
I know, man. I gotta start making a list here.
Yeah, we're about to put you on.
Amerigo Gazaway, thank you so much for coming to our show.
Yeah,
for sharing your music, for sharing your knowledge, your stories.
Definitely gotta come back again, bro. You gotta. If you got some new sounds and everything, definitely.
For sure, man.
Next time you should just drop by for a DJ set.
Man. If you want to play, whatever, bro.
I'm down for that too.
Really?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan,
Always
man.
welcome, brother.
Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Dragi slušatelji, ovo je bio Amerigo Gazaway, producent, multi-instrumentalist, glazbenik iz SAD-a koji je sada u Zagrebu. Slušali smo njegovu glazbu i završit ćemo sa njegovom pjesmom isto Amerigo Gazaway, Your Mama and Stuff sa sa Bizarre Tribe A Quest to the Far Side projekta. Hvala vam na pozornosti i na slušanju. Ova emisija traje još do 11 sati. Sad ćemo završiti ovaj intervju. Thank you very much, Amerigo. DJ Sani is going to be in the mix, but before that we're going to play just one more tune from Amerigo Gazaway. I to bi bilo to za sad. Slušamo se do 11 sati. Ostanite uz 102,5 FM. Yo, Amerigo, anyone you want to shout out before we end?
I want to give a shout out to my wife and my dog Falcor, who's waiting for me at home.
Woof woof.
And all the fans, all the DJs, you guys, Fat Philly, everybody in Croatia, everybody who has supported me throughout my career. One love.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Laku noć.
Yes.
Peace.